What up, everybody? We're back at it again. My name is Scott. I'm here with Luke and Marcus.
Hello, I'm Marcus.
I'm Lucas.
And we're going to talk about EQOA for a little while and just reminisce. We don't really have a script. We're just going to shoot from the hip here and have a good time. So we played, all three of us, we played on the hot stock server. And I was a shaman. Marcus was an alchemist, and Lucas was a druid, among some other alts, I think. But those are our main characters, so that's our introduction of who we are. And we're going to talk about alchemists today. I think that's what's on the docket for conversation. Sure. Alchemist. So all I know about alchemists is that Marcus was an alchemist.
Not originally, of course, because obviously it didn't come out until Frontiers. I started life as a warrior, and then as a different warrior. Then as a different warrior, thinking that I was good at doing warrior things. I was not. I was much better at doing alchemist things.
Were you attracted to warriors right away?
I was. I still am, I guess.
Is it like a Conan thing, or what do you like about them?
I honestly have no idea. Maybe it's just the simplicity of it, because I can just know I can sit down and go beat things with a sword.
Yeah.
I mean, and they ended up being a lot more complicated. Mm-hmm. I can definitely appreciate that now, but...
Yeah. You know. That's something I thought about a little bit was I had a shaman, but then one of my other characters was a warrior. And it just seemed like that traditional role that you were.
Right.
You could rely on doing damage and taunt, that sort of thing.
I did like that. I liked being able to control the flow. Because I always got very upset with other people when they were going too slow or going too fast.
Yeah.
Especially if I was playing some sort of healer.
Yeah.
They were just going way too fast.
Did you have a healer?
Never on... Well, on EQOA I did. After I saw you AFK healing essentially with a book. I was like, I want to do that, so I can't remember what I even rolled.
So they realized that you're AFK, and then they just...
It got really
kicked you out of the group. And this is the point.
And then all of a sudden I die because I'm trying to tank, and Scott's, asleep.
God. Yeah.
And he never wakes up.
Yeah, that was... this is kind of the way it went, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Turns out if a book can replace you, your job's pretty boring.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I like healing, but I
also... we're a little more active.
Yeah. I threw damage spells in there, even though they only did like 300 or... It was tiny.
Oh yeah, I was a dirtbag. I'd buff them up when they needed it, if I wasn't asleep. But other than that, just... let it ride, baby. Just let it go. I tried to do damage with different classes, but that was one thing. I remember eventually I went over to World of Warcraft, and I was a rogue.
A
river rouge. And I was always getting out damaged by everything. Yeah, specifically... tanks, like Fury tanks. I can't remember what they were. Were they warriors?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Was that a class?
But you couldn't do tanking with Fury since it was all damage.
Well, we'd go into... what I mean to say is that we'd go into like a battleground or something, and there'd be just a bunch of Fury
PvP
warriors there.
Right.
And that's all I really did.
Well, I couldn't do it even on my lock or my healers. Just gave up on PvP.
I love PvP.
I love PvP if I was like 10 levels higher than the other person.
And in EQA, they only had PvP
duels.
Yeah, they only had duels. It wasn't like battlegrounds. It wasn't mass scale.
Yeah, you get the ARs, otherwise the necromancers would mess you up. In
Crown of Bones.
The Shadow Knights.
Crown of Bones, yeah.
I bet you, this is, folks, there's no book here. I'm going to guess the Crown of Bones had 54 AR. I seem to remember the Crown of Bones having 54 AR.
Was that its only stat?
I think it was.
I think it was its only stat.
Yeah. But you had to protect yourself from necros.
That's right.
And Shadow Knights.
Oh, nobody cared about Shadow Knights.
Because they had that one move.
Yep.
That was all AR based.
Uh-huh.
It was their like big dick move.
Yeah, and I remember
flop that out, you were just done.
I would duel Kyle, and I had high enough AR. And then Kyle couldn't kill me because I'd heal myself too fast, and I couldn't kill him because I didn't do enough damage, so it was just a never-ending battle. I can't remember what that thing was. Was it just like a tough Touch of Death or something. Ridiculous.
Something like that. Yeah, I think you might be right. And it was like a 16-minute cooldown or 30-minute cooldown.
Something like that.
In Shadow Knights, those weren't in the original game, where they came with Frontiers.
I think that was an original game.
That was in the original?
I think so.
Okay.
I think the only thing they added in the expansion was Alchemist.
I believe so.
Really?
Yep. I think you're thinking of Death Knights for a while. When they added that in Burning Crusade.
My God, they added that in World of Warcraft?
Death Knights, not Shadow Knights. Death Knights.
Oh, I can't keep
We start
that
at level
shit
60.
straight. I can't keep that shit straight at all.
55.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
Might as well be 60.
You guys are the real nerds. No, they added...
Well, technically.
Ogres.
Oh yeah,
Was
they
a
did
thing,
it. Yeah,
right?
Yep. The
No,
class.
there was
or the
another,
race.
was there another race or just the ogres?
Just the ogres, I think.
Just the ogres.
I forgot that was a thing.
Can you believe that?
I can't, actually. I can't.
Oh my gosh. I'll always be upset because that Golden Frontiers made trolls look kind of interesting to like Fisher Price.
Yeah.
They look terrible
You
after
guys
that.
look derpy.
They look so dumb.
Yeah, they went from being like somewhat threatening to being like a kid's toy. You were entirely correct.
It was tough. It was really tough. I think I stuck with the character for a long time, and then I couldn't stand looking at trolls anymore. I remember I took all my robes because I had a decent little robe collection.
Which you stole.
We can... Oh, wow. Shots fired. Yes, I did steal a couple. And I'll go into that.
A couple.
A couple. I'm cleaning out the closet tonight, folks. I'm getting the skeletons out of there.
Wow.
But I'm glad you brought that up unprovoked.
Or was it a little provoked?
A little provoked, probably.
You fed me, I feel a little.
I needed to get that out there in the world. But I gave my whole collection of hot goods to a bank, and then I deleted. It was weird deleting my character and then starting off a new shaman as a barbarian towards the end of when I started.
The very end,
yeah. And that was, when you think about the end of my playing history, would have been around. We started in 2003, maybe 2005, 2006. I only stuck around. Most of us only really stuck around for a few years.
Because we played. When I got to college, we started out with EQ2.
Correct, I remember that.
And then we played. Because that was when I lived with Grant and John, and then.
No, that was when you lived on campus.
Yes.
EQ2.
Yes, because then John tried playing a little bit too. I was jealous because
and I didn't
his computer could play it.
Yes, he built that computer. And I didn't have a nice enough computer to play it.
And then WoW came out right after that.
Yep.
I graduated college in 2007, so
we all jumped to WoW.
we jumped to WoW probably 2000, and I think that came out 2004.
I think we jumped in 2005 or 2006.
So we
we
jumped
played both
after.
for a little bit.
Yep.
And I remember being so impressed with World of Warcraft because you could jump
Oh, spacebar.
all
Especially
day, every
since I
day.
played a night elf. You flip.
You could crouch too, didn't you? Or like sit down.
Yeah, you could sit down and wave. And, well, you can do that stuff in EQOA though too.
You could sit down.
I don't know if
Well,
you could sit. You could
no, there
wave.
wasn't a sit, but there was other.
Because I remember doing the whole
actions.
like, look, that's my cousin. Look, you can look at him and wave, and then he'll wave back, just like the South Park episode. Yep. Oh yes. Scotty's got another salty dog, so we're ready to go here.
We're drinking alcohol tonight, folks. I guess that's the one thing to note here is that we don't have any sort of script. We just have alcohol and stories. So an alchemist. The only thing I know about an alchemist, to go back
To the original topic.
to go back here 10 minutes.
9 minutes, yeah.
The alchemist, from what I gathered, the only ones I can really remember is yourself and maybe one or two other ones, was that you had a limited amount of things to throw.
Correct.
I remember that being weird for me to understand, was that you had to make a potion and then you go into a group and then you throw your potion things at mobs.
Correct.
That
And then you also had drafts, which would give you back mana, if I recall correctly. It's been a very long time. So you would make overnight.
Overnight, how would you do
With the
that?
turbo
It was
controller.
a turbo controller, which I went out and bought like the day after Frontiers came out because I decided I was going to roll an alchemist.
Was this Wildcats or who made the
Mad Cats?
Mad Cats. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a Mad Cats one. Pretty sure. And then I would go sit in Bobble by Water.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was where my house was, quote unquote, to roleplay it a little. Well, because I had heard that you could get reported if you were AFK making your potions.
And you, what class were you, or what race were you?
I was a gnome.
Okay.
I was a female gnome alchemist.
So remember when you take your helmet off?
Yeah,
The ridiculous red
hair. Yep, I always wore my helmet, but that's safe, kids. Always wear your helmet.
Mm-hmm.
Not even joking there. Anyways.
By the way, let me jump in real quick.
Potions.
Could you turn on a setting that removed the helmet graphic?
Oh, thanks.
No, I don't think so. I think it's just if you didn't equip your helmet because you thought it was ugly.
Right.
Then like gnomes, I kind of remember some of them having weird
hair.
Yeah, and I think some of them involved hats, like
something. Actually, I think the non-graphic gnomes, I think, were wearing hats still sometimes. Like if you were wearing a helmet, you would still look like you had a hat on, like a ridiculous gnome hat thing. I understand you can't see what I'm pantomiming, people listening.
Yeah,
But
it almost looked like a. Did it have like a point, like an elf kind of thing?
like an elf hat kind of. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Yeah, I just remember a hat because I remember if you took yours off, you had a ridiculous.
Yes, because others I always had like the really
this
stupid like old football helmet, leather helmet, because that was the best thing I could find.
Yeah.
I remember I was very excited when I got it. I don't remember where it dropped. The some raid, and it was just the ugliest thing.
But it wasn't.
It was like I had foreskin. I was so pissed.
Little penis. Okay. So that answers that question. And you could gain mana back by doing a move.
Yes, you'd have your drafts too, which I think you made those too. I don't think that was a spell.
I believe you.
But you only have so many of those. They had a limited cooldown. I don't know. This is all a very, very long time ago. But yeah, so you would make these potions, and each potion costs like 15% of your mana bar to throw. Very peculiar. So you'd throw, drink a draft, throw, drink a draft, and each time I think there was maybe diminishing returns on the draft. Can't remember exactly how it all worked, but it was definitely a different class to play, coming from warriors and stuff like that.
And you were a low mana.
Yeah, I always wanted to be low mana.
You wanted to be low mana.
That's right. I hated things with intellect because I wanted as little bit of mana possible.
Because of the percentages.
Because it cost a certain percent to throw a potion, you were correct. And a draft restored mana, not a percentage.
Yep.
So I wanted as low of mana as possible. Scott, you're missing some important stuff here.
Tell me about it.
Lucas reminded me, and I forgot about this, I wanted low mana. So I always tried to find things with negative intellect.
Whoa. Okay, this is a whole nother chapter because if you had more strength, you could carry more.
Right.
Remember that?
Yeah, that's why I think I gave my druid an extra 2 points of strength because I thought that was true at the very beginning.
So you wanted less.
So the way this worked is you would throw a potion. A potion cost 10 or 15% of your mana. But a draft would restore like 900 mana. So it wasn't a percent.
Okay.
So you definitely wanted less mana because that equaled more back from your drafts.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember there was a robe I really wanted that was like minus 20 intellect. I remember farming that for days and whatever.
Remember what it's called?
It was green. I wore it all the time.
The sea
Green? No. Green with my stupid brown foreskin hat. Which also had like minus 10 intellect on it.
Did it have like a red heart in the middle?
No,
just solid green.
You remember Clyde from Hot Stock?
I do remember Clyde.
He had a robe collection. And he created a robe list. I think it had all the stats in there. I might look at that robe list later.
Excellent.
And see what had negative 20 intellect.
I want to say it was minus 20. It was phenomenal.
So you wanted as few intellect as you could because that reduced your overall intellect level.
Correct, but I wanted a lot of wisdom because that was like mana per 5 or something like that. So that would give me back more ticks.
Mm-hmm.
So the more mana I got back every 5 seconds. Wasn't that how it was?
I don't remember.
Or I'm making that confused as well.
I remember how wisdom worked in. I don't know what else you put your stat in though, because charisma didn't make sense, strength didn't make sense.
I remember my most
Constitution or stamina made sense if you wanted more hit points.
I can't remember if drafts hurt me or not.
I feel like they did because I was
I think
actually
they
just thinking that too. So there's something that took away health.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
Weird.
And I don't remember if wisdom did anything.
I remember
I don't
I used a lot of wisdom as a shaman.
And well, you should have had a lot of charisma.
I don't know how to
Charisma
play
determined
the-
how.
I had no
Charisma
idea.
determined
Those
how
are
much
heals.
Heals.
Your fat heals were charisma.
Yep.
But I feel like the rest of it was in wisdom. Or
And maybe it was
stamina.
wisdom for certain classes and int for other classes that gave you more mana.
Could've been.
I don't remember. I'd have to find the book and look at it to see what the stats did. Because dexterity wouldn't have done anything for you either.
I don't think so. My most important stat was minus intellect.
Did you ever geek out with other alchemists?
Very, very rarely.
Hmm.
I remember when I was leveling, because you a-holes were all like level 60 already. Or 50, working your way to 60.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just rolling this character.
God, I hope they heard that.
So,
I don't
Oh
think
my
there were that many
God.
alchemists either.
there wasn't, because I remember grouping with a lot of people that were like, never grouped with an alchemist before. Why are you pulling so much goddamn aggro? Because, like, well, I'm sorry, this is just what I do.
Yep.
But,
I remember you kiting guys that were your level, or I remember you kiting a guy in Plane of Sky.
correct.
I remember that.
Alchemists were phenomenal at kiting. But so there was a couple times while I was leveling where I'd run into another alchemist that was like near me in level, or there was one guy who was actually above me in level, because I kind of power leveled my guy through. And every now and then when we'd run into each other, we'd kind of geek out for a little bit, like, oh, what are your tricks, blah, blah, stuff like that. So that was kind of fun.
Alchemist seems like a class that would have that niche audience.
Sure, yep.
I look at it now and I think it sounds like a lot of fun. It was just arcane to me at the time. I didn't get it. I think the idea of making your own potions and then using those was unattractive to me because I had to use a consumable or something. I don't
think I used a consumable.
Well, what I mean is that you had to make these things and then use them.
Right.
So your attack was a consumable attack.
Yes. And I remember there were some times where you guys wanted to group up, and I'd be like, sorry guys, I can't because I disconnected overnight and I only have like 1,000 potions.
Oh my God.
I mean, I was like, I just can't go. I'm sorry.
How many can you have?
Ooh, I have no idea.
So it's like 999 or 999.
I want to say it was 99999. Yeah.
Oh my word. Wow.
And then that would be good for most of a night of grinding.
Yeah.
Good old grind.
Ugh.
I love it when people who play WoW talk about grinding and it's like, no, you have no idea.
This is the weirdest. This is one of the weirdest things. Is the grind. Everyone misses the grind.
Yep.
Which is funny because games have gotten so far away from it.
Right.
Yeah, this is a huge topic for people who compare EQOA to other MMORPG 4-9ers. Is that
Got the 9 in there?
that could have been? Is that with WoW? It's all these quests. It seems super solo. That you're just doing these quests here and there. But with EQOA, you get a group at 7 p.m. and maybe you had to mow the lawn at 8, or everyone had to go have supper at 8:30. But then you'd settle in for the grind around 9, and you just go to 1 or 2, and it was just it was grueling. It was a long time,
Mm-hmm.
but you'd hit up the bandits at this level and the Knoll Cave at this level, and then you'd go
Crocs at this level.
Crocs at this level, and you go to the minnows. I love the minnows. Probably my favorite spot. Eventually, the eyes. You'd end up at the eyes.
Yep.
But the grind, people
The EG.
loved it.
Yep.
The
I love EG.
Was there an elephant in EG?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like a bone elephant?
Yes.
Was that a rare spawn?
No.
You sure?
Pretty sure. I'm pretty sure just nobody wanted to kill him because what's the point? He was hard to kill and didn't give very much experience.
I think you're right.
And if you got caught off guard, he'd wipe the floor with you.
Like the Raging Rhinoceros?
Kind of like Raging Rhinoceros.
He was
yeah.
passive,
light
though, wasn't
blue.
No.
he? Was he aggressive?
Yeah. And faster than anything. I think.
Yep.
Really?
No, he's like blue. We can take him. Oh my god.
Yeah.
What was he, like level 54?
45 probably.
I remember Enchanters would have him.
Correct.
Yep.
That and the Brown Recluse.
Oh yeah.
Ebony recluse. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the actual thing.
The real IRL thing.
Yeah, the raging rhinoceros. I think his attack just ignored armor. I think is what it was.
Yeah.
So any tank was just got demolished by him.
And I think I believe his initial attack was like a quad hit because it would do like that weird sound effect. But even if you were a mile away from him, it would hit you again because I think it was just an automatic, like it would trigger so many times. Because I remember seeing a number and like, oh, I can survive this, and then face plant, and he's way behind you just because his attack just hits sequentially like that.
I only remember him once or twice by a river on a nice blue day.
He was by the giant knolls, whatever those things were called.
Giant knolls?
They're like these weird, hairy, black and orange creatures along the riverside, and I remember farming them until cobalt. Are they kobolds? They might have been kobolds. But there were these really big things, and there was a raging rhinoceros that ran around out in the distance by them alongside a river. Maybe it's the coast.
What are those?
I don't remember what they're called. But I remember going out there a lot. That camp was okay.
Yeah.
There's the elementals, too. Not the ghosts. The ghost was fun, too. I liked the ghost place right away when you got to Frontiers. One of the first places you went was Phantoms.
Oh,
Phantoms was
that's where the Spectro jumped, wasn't it?
I believe so.
It was like a pyramid thing.
Yep.
Thing.
Is that where you needed the PRs? The boss on the top?
No, that was the Kappa or the Kappa place.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Kappas,
Kappa.
okay. I always like the Kappas.
Those guys were fun too. I remember when we would play with Kyle and Christy, and
That's why I like the Kappas. I needed the PRs as an alchemist because my drafts hurt me, but it was poison.
oh yeah.
And I could tank the Kappa bitch.
And you probably had lots of wisdom because for every like 5 or 7 points of wisdom, you got 1 resistance. I think.
Oh,
it was.
maybe,
I think
yeah.
it was something related to
Yeah,
resistance.
that's all
of
coming
wisdom.
out right now.
Explain it to me.
I think my drafts also hurt me, but it was counted as poison, so I needed really high poison resistance.
Oh.
So, and that's the reason why I would tank or try to tank. I would just kite the lady at the top of the Kappa place.
Yep.
Because her attack was all poison based.
Yep. And I remember the Jism Jolt.
That was on your road.
That was on the road, but that was.
Us, Lucas.
Sorry, that's what we called it.
No introduction. You just throw the Jism Jolt out.
Just throw the jism up, man.
Poison dart, but it looked like this green thing just kind of floating through the air. So
Green Jolt.
yeah, green jolt. So it got nicknamed the Jism Jolt.
No, everyone knows that.
Yep.
There's other people out there who played a rogue to 60. Is that what you were?
I made it to the max level, so I
Yeah.
think it was 60. Yeah.
You had your mastery.
Yep. It was an assassin,
Correct.
and I had
Damn.
all black gear. I don't remember if it was any like special thing or not. I don't remember. But yep, Dark Elf. Is that unhappy?
That was unhappy.
Yeah.
Are you unhappy? Of course I'm unhappy. Yeah, that place was fun.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the stuff in Frontiers was fun. Harpies was fun if you had a good tank.
Yes.
The
Ooh,
Spectre
that's
or
right.
the Phantoms were a lot of fun if you had a really good tank too. I remember Kyle out the Kappas. He would like chain pull in a way that you just constant. It was crazy. That was a lot of fun. I remember that.
Moots? You guys spent a lot of time at Moots?
Isn't that the Elementals?
Yeah.
Yep. That place was fun too.
They're the big lava elemental guys.
Yep. And there was like I believe there was a rare spawn that spawned at the top of that thing or near or like on part of it.
Why don't I remember these moots? Where was this?
It's like a magician's. Didn't the magician?
It looked like the
have-
magician pets, the high level magician pets.
Really?
Yep. I think they were all just the fire ones. Sorry. I don't know
Yeah, they're
if
just
the
fire
other
ones.
ones were there.
I think they're by harpies.
I can't remember.
I have zero recollection of this.
I don't know.
I didn't go there very often.
Maybe I did.
It wasn't a popular spot because usually, if I remember right, there weren't that many spawns. So if your group was too powerful, you ended up waiting
Yeah.
for spawns to reset.
Mm-hmm.
I seem to remember, this could be bullshit, a cave mouth. And there were maybe 2 or 3 guys there at the cave mouth. and you could kill them if you wanted to get greedy. And you could try to go into the cave a little further and pull another person, another moot out.
That sounds a lot like harpies.
It could be that. I just remember, for some reason, if you got nasty and you wanted to go in deep, try to get someone else, and then the spawns pop outside, and you're kind of SOL.
I think it was kind of like that too. Yeah, that sounds kind of right too. There was a building, and there was two of these guys on the outside, and if you pulled them, and then you ran in and pulled the one inside, sometimes you got all three, and then you got your ass kicked.
Yeah.
I remember sitting at EG in a corner, because everyone would have their own corner in the little like temple where you'd walk down in.
Oh my gosh.
And everyone had their corner, and I remember people would like pull some from your group. And you'd be like, what are you doing? Those are our guys. We'll get to them. I also remember later on pulling things from other people's groups, being like, well, they're not killing them. We'll just take one of theirs. But I remember when they would take one of our kills and then they'd wipe. Oh, it was so phenomenal. You'd be like, that's what you get for trying to steal our kills. Yeah.
Until it happens to you the next time.
Yeah, you're right. Then you forget all about it. You're like, oh, I don't know why they spawn so fast. There must be something wrong. You know? But I remember people taking your spawns. And I remember just secretly watching them out of the corner of your eye while you were killing something else and just hoping they'd wipe.
Oh, and as long as you had the other thing on, you could just keep throwing your potions and turn the camera and watch them.
That's right. Oh, yes.
I remember reading the intro book, the thin one for EQOA, and Nariac. Kyle and I we were playing. We were in Nariac.
Oh yeah.
That shithole in the ground. And we were taking turns being rogues or warriors or whatever we were. And I remember one of us came out of the ground and we're looking for bats.
Flame-winged bats, I believe.
Could have, yeah, it certainly could have been. Yeah. And the instruction book said to con, the characters push R1. I think that's what switching between like targeting was.
I don't remember.
Whatever it was. We'll pretend it's R1. And it said con, to con the character or the mob or the NPC. And we were trying to figure out what con meant. And my theory was, this is my theory, that when you go to, for example, a used car salesman, they'll try to con you into buying something that's shitty, basically. They'll trick you, is what I thought the word meant. And when you targeted a mob or an NPC, conning them, I believe that thing was lying to you by telling you what level they were. So you'd con them and they'd be dark blue or something. So that'd be level...
It's 1 or 2 levels below you.
Okay, 1 or 2 levels below you. I believe that meant they were actually secretly a couple levels above you. That they were tricking you by telling you their color. This was day 1 of all that. And I believe eventually I probably discarded that theory at some point. But that was the first thing I remember about targeting characters. Or if you have Sal going from Freeport to High Pass, remember that?
Oh yeah, you all the way to Quenos.
What?
You stop at High Pass, but you go from Freeport to Quenos. That was all the way.
I don't think I ever made it to Quenos.
What?
I was a troll. You couldn't get the thing there, could you? If you're a troll?
No.
I almost never went there.
That was a good city. But you could get ZF, Zulfaric.
What?
Zulfaric up in the north by the skeletons. The igloos.
Skellies.
Yep. You could get that as evil. I don't think you could get that as good.
Well, Hallis was right there.
Somewhere near there, yeah. I think that's where you.
Oh.
I think that's where you had to run from. It's been so long, I don't remember.
You gotta see this.
Oh boy.
There's a wait till you see this.
Scott is walking out of the room right now.
Scott hand drew a map?
I don't know. He's left and he's coming back now.
Oh, he has a... Oh boy.
Some sort of rolled tube of
goodness.
Of goodness. Oh yeah, boy. Oh my God.
Where'd you find that?
We are looking at a map of Norath right now. I'm sorry, an atlas.
Laminated.
It's 2 feet by 2 feet, boys.
You could run. I think you actually ran from Windhaven usually to the Skellies.
So this map here, if you looked at EQOA map, it'd be one of the first ones that pops up. It says Atlas and Norath. I'll just put a picture in the description. And I sent it to the laminated shop at work.
What'd they say?
They said, all right, what do you need this for? I said, I need it for research. So they printed this out. This cost $8. So this is all vinyl. And then they just laminated it all.
I remember some of these places, but I think I'm getting them confused with other places in WoW. Because could you actually, was there a camp in Chictar Hive? Like, I'm guessing bugs and stuff? But I kind of picture the bugs from WoW, and that just doesn't seem right. Waktan's fourth Talon, or Waktan? I remember that.
I remember Hostak was up here.
Right.
Oh, Cyclops Fortress, I remember that.
Because I remember I'd
I
always
trained
be
you
here.
guys there.
Yeah.
I'd always, what was it, not bind or whatever.
Spirit Master?
Spirit Master in
Was
Freeport,
that
and then I'd go up to Bobble by Water, and that's where I'd spend my night.
Oh, you go up there.
Right, I think there wasn't a coach in Bobble, but there was. I had to run. Not choosing why, because there wasn't no coach in Bobble. So I thought there was less odds of me being caught.
But you could. Isn't that's where Crocs were, right? Was Bobble?
Close to there. Yep, you ran from there.
Crocs were down here too.
That's the first and only time I attempted to tank, and then I gave up because I got ripped on hardcore because I was like the level before you got the next taunt, and I couldn't hold aggro because I didn't have the next taunt, so I got ripped on hardcore and I just gave up. I just couldn't do it. Man, these places seem a lot closer together than I remember them being. Because like the path
here's
from Freeport to High Pass felt like a lot longer than 4 zones.
This is a fucking hike, dude. Look at that.
Right.
All of that shit. This was like level 50 for sure.
Right.
I remember getting lost in there.
Oh god, yeah. I don't think I ever made it up. Is that High Pass right there?
Yep.
I don't remember how.
Well, and there was a way if you ran straight up, you could like glitch up the mountain or something like that. There's a way you could use the mountains to get in there.
I don't remember the mountains.
I don't remember exactly how it worked.
I never faced. By High Pass, there were bandits on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
What were they called?
Highwaymen.
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 Was that a camp? Could you camp there?
Yeah, you could level the Highwaymen. Whatever level that was. Sorry, it's lost or glaring stuff.
Hello, welcome home.
Black Burrow, Spirit Talkers. I don't remember a lot of these places.
Misty Thicket.
Bear Cave.
I saw that.
Spider Mine.
That's where Gertrude is, wasn't it?
I believe it's where Gertie was.
Oh, Gertie. It's the name of my truck now.
Oh, Gertie living.
And I don't think there was anything in Sphinx Pyramid worth writing home about, or really any of those places. But that's where all of
Envar. I remember going to Envar just to see what was there.
Yeah, I don't remember what's there.
How'd you get in there? Oh, I've never been in there.
I want to say here? Yeah, because you had to run from Kerplunk.
There's a burger there if you
It's
want one.
not a real
What?
place, right?
No. This is all, no.
That can't be.
The place is really called Kerplunk. This is all fantasy world.
So I wore this shirt.
Yeah.
4 people.
Yeah.
Send me your link. How do I get stuff? Blah 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 blah. Those rich ladies.
You have to start stocking it.
Well, they said they were like, I need that exact shirt.
Really?
I'm like, oh, I don't have it.
No.
Wimbledon. I don't remember any of these. I don't remember there being a city of note in any of these places, or a mob of note, really.
No, me either.
What do you mean a mob?
Like, there wasn't a camp there.
Oh, yeah. Mossmouth Cavern. Wasn't that Gobby's?
I don't know.
Where is Sunnyvale?
That's
That's
in
right
Nova
outside
Scotia.
That's right outside of Oasis.
Yeah, he's right. You took a you.
No, not Oasis. It's
You went to Fork Watch, didn't you?
See, I thought it was in the middle here.
Sunnyvale?
Yeah.
It's where's the Knoll Cave?
Yeah, where's the Knoll Cave?
It's outside of.
What?
No.
No way! It's like here, Darver Manor.
Yeah, Darwin
Yeah,
Manor.
Darwin
Yeah.
Manor. You go to Darver, and then
It was over here somewhere.
Yeah.
Because you didn't go across the river. Yeah, because across the river you'd run into bandits and stuff.
Yes.
Yes.
By the lake?
Maybe?
I don't remember.
Is this Knoll Cave, Blackborough?
Blackborough? No, that's got to be the Knoll Cave. What does that? What does that say?
Cave Town Entrance.
Yeah. So that must have been the Knoll Cave.
Okay. So there's an old cave, and then Sunnyvale was somewhere in there.
Well, these are tower structures. Town.
Point of interest.
Point of
So it's
interest.
probably, and it's right on the road. So my guess is it's that guy right there.
Yeah.
Because I believe Sunnyvale was on the road.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because I remember standing on the road with my magician.
You remember going to Quanos Prison? I just saw it when
Yep.
I rolled this up.
Yep.
I never went there, but I went there
It
very
was-
rarely. I always liked going there.
I never had
I
good
never
luck
went in
because the guys respawn so fast
Right.
that it was pretty much a guaranteed death trap when you got done. Because what would usually happen is somebody would fall asleep or somebody would quit and you couldn't find somebody and then you'd like, oh, well, let's go home, but I don't want to use return home, so then
Right.
you just die.
I'm going to RH real quick.
Yeah, and then they'd RH and then have to try to get back in, and it was a whole mess, and
Was it a certain level?
it was really low level. I think it's actually one of the lowest level camps you could do.
I think so, level 20-ish.
Did it
I
get?
think it's even lower than that, I think.
Was it lower level the deeper, or the higher level the deeper you went?
It wasn't that big of a place. Like,
No.
I don't think it was that big of a level range. Maybe 3 levels.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. You remember Iki?
I remember the name.
Iki was a mouse. It was a white rat on an island. It had Iki, a big rat, if you remember what the big rats look like, and then 3 little rats, white rats around him. We called him Iki and the Stooges.
Right. I remember that.
IKKY? It was just too close to Iggy
Right.
to ignore. But that was near Quanos.
Correct.
I don't remember that side of the map very well.
No. Do you remember where your dice came from?
Highborn.
Okay, because we had this conversation last time, which was over a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because Kenos was humans, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was Western humans or whatever,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
which were the good humans, and the Freeport humans were the evil humans,
Yeah.
or whatever you want to say.
Could they coach everywhere?
Mhm.
Really? Eastern?
Well, no, they were. I think they're still considered good.
Eastern?
I believe so. I don't think they could get to the evil places.
When was the last time you were in Grob?
Probably whenever I rolled a troll
Did you?
for a little while.
What was it?
I think it was a warrior.
Okay.
Oh, shoot, you're recording?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
That's fine. Now there's no editing here. We just let it roll.
Now the PEO people know I think they're a bunch of rich like
Well, if they ever watch this,
secret sauce.
they'll certainly know. But
There's no last name said either.
yeah, they have no idea who this is. Could be anybody. Anything else you want to tell us about Alchemist, Marcus?
No.
Well, yeah, 39 or 30 minutes into it, you know.
Oh yeah, almost 40.
30-minute conversation, Alchemist.
Lucas, you want to dovetail into Druids at all? Anything you want to tell us about Druids that we don't think is goofy already? You could be a tree? Could you be a
You
tree?
could be a tree if you were in Immortal. I think you got tree form.
Oh yeah, maybe. And that was
And
like
originally-
mana essential, wasn't it?
Yeah, you got a ton of mana back, and initially it made it so you couldn't move, if I remember right, or something.
Oh, that's right.
Right.
Then people would sit and spin in circles. You also got dog form too, but that was just for speed.
That was horseshit. Shamans had a wolf.
Bear.
Well, they were bears, but then they had Cecil. You remember Cecil?
The companion.
Cecil, yeah.
Companion. And this is the weirdest thing. When your companion died, you felt bad. You felt bad. I did. I totally did. Little Cecil's out there bravely fighting for you. And then it flops over and is dead.
He did like no damage, but he tried.
He tried. That's the important
That
part.
is the important part.
I don't remember what he did or did not do.
Great.
He was basically somebody there to take the heat as you.
Correct. As you
I gotta get out of here.
Down.
I'm out.
What else did druids have? There really wasn't anything. I mean, they were just a healing class. They were okay. They didn't really do any damage. They had a nice AC buff. And they had... I'm remembering something with like fire resist, or maybe it's poison resist. They had some kind of resistance spell. But it wasn't anything... I don't know. I just liked them. They were fun.
That's kind of how I felt about shamans. They seem like a...
They're solid.
Well, yeah, they're solid. But the mythology behind them, I guess, was attractive. In that you could be this weird pagan witch doctor thing with goofy spell names like bloodlust, and you could be a bear, and you could do shit like that.
I remember I could turn everybody into wolves.
What?
Yes, there was a dog form.
Like a group Saul.
A group, yeah. I think it did give Sal too.
Yeah.
I bet you did.
Yeah, and everybody, I got invited to a lot of groups just to cast that. Remember that?
I remember being in Freeport, just hanging out. You go to Freeport just to hang, and some scrub would come running up to me. He'd say, "Sal, please." SOW space PLZ. Sal, please.
Yep.
And I'd say something like, I had a hotkey for it.
I remember. I think I know where this is going.
Dance. I told him to dance for a Sal, and then he
He just moved his controller.
Fishtail.
Yeah, he just moved his controller.
He just moved back and forth real quickly, and that was enough to appease me. So I cast Sal on him, and off he was. But you had to have it.
What was the name of the troll that would dance? Take off his robe.
Boof?
There's a video of him.
Is it Boof?
I don't know.
Boof, if you're
You like
out there.
party? Me like party. Me like party right now.
I remember
Then
that.
he moved back
Yeah.
and forth, and then all of a sudden his robe would disappear, and then he'd dance some more.
I remember that guy.
I don't know if that was Boof or not, though.
I don't think it was
That
Boof.
doesn't sound like Boof.
Boof was a serious player. I don't know how serious he was, but everyone knew him. He was one of those people that everyone knew. That guy was not Boof.
Wow.
I don't know who that was.
If I remember right, Boof named all of his characters Boof something. Like there
Yeah.
was, like you always knew it was him because the name was there.
Yeah. I'm always surprised by some of the real goofball players who were 13, 14, 15 who could play really well, but they were just kids. Younger than we were, for sure. And they just didn't. Well, some people have a mind for it, I guess. I didn't. I didn't know how to play.
I thought we did pretty good.
I felt like I was just exploiting the system from Alchemist.
I don't know if it's exploiting. I mean, those stats are there for a reason, so you
Right,
can do
but-
that stuff.
I don't know.
It's no different than games now where they give you all this rain and you can do whatever you want, and it's kind of stat building, experimentation,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
All right, on to the next segment. How big do you think is the EQA landscape? We talked about this a few weeks ago, actually.
Did, yeah.
I don't know.
I don't remember either. I'm gonna say by gnomish foot,
Okay.
it is fucking enormous. I mean, I understand everyone ran the same speed and stuff, but it seemed very large for my, I don't know, 16, 17-year-old attention span. It seemed enormous.
Yeah.
And because I had to run everywhere on foot, there was no mountains.
Thank God.
Right. There was Sal, and you hoped you got Sal if you had to run anyways. And if you got Sal and then you died, you didn't get Sal.
Sucks for you.
Sorry.
Yep.
Wasn't there a way to reduce the debt you got from dying? If somebody rezzed you?
Correct.
A cleric.
And then if the cleric one was the best.
Mm-hmm.
And
They
then
actually had to be. No, they didn't. They didn't have to be there. You could be in town and get a res.
Yeah.
and that would
That's
send you
when-
back to where you died?
You had a group with them, though.
How did that work?
Correct.
Because I remember
You had to leave your group and say, you had to get your guild cleric.
Yep.
God, what were they called? They had they had a specific name, like whatever their CM was. I remember the one in our group. Oh, group with me, I need a res. And then he'd res you, and then you had to drop the group and join the other group.
Right.
And in the meantime, they got a new healer, and then
Right.
that never happened.
Yeah, you sound a little bitter.
Yeah. Right.
Nah, it just
Something you want to get off your chest?
nope. Not, well, I mean, there's nothing to get off the chest.
Really? It sounds like there might be.
It just
Oh, a little
happened.
bit.
I don't know. It happened.
Just happened.
I couldn't find a reser, and they replaced me with somebody else. And by the time I got back, they were already going again. So I was pissed off.
I do remember seeing those messages where you'd be somewhere at a camp and all of a sudden some random guy would be like, rogue assassin looking for group, and you'd be like, I got dropped by your group, huh?
Yep.
That was just the way. That is just the way it worked.
That's the way it goes, man.
Yep.
Any guess,
Sometimes
Rob?
she goes,
Sometimes you don't.
Sometimes she goes.
The EQA landmass was 315 square miles, about a quarter the size of Rhode Island. It's a big place.
That is a big
I'd
place.
say so, yeah.
Big place.
Is that just EQOA or is that EQA and Frontiers?
Oh, the map.
Okay.
Okay, so sure. A little bit of water in there, but that's okay.
Quiz question number 2. How long was your average coaching screen?
Again, I'm going to go back into gnomish measurements here.
Please do.
No miss minutes.
No, yes, in gnomish, yes, in little gnomish minutes. Long enough to run to the fridge and get a soda.
My guess is 3.5 minutes.
3.5 minutes? I'm going to guess 90 seconds.
There's some of them that felt like they were.
This is true. Maybe I just had a shorter attention span back then. Though.
That could be it too. I remember watching a video and they focused on those gears that were turning.
Yes, I remember the gears.
Oh.
Yes.
And you'd have a heart murmur if they stopped.
Yep.
No! And then that's when you'd get dropped from group and they'd replace you again.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And I was on dial-up at the time, so it was.
We all were, my
It was
friend.
really crappy connections.
Oh, we all were. So I don't know how accurate this is going to be. Oops. But EQA Nostalgia has a video of him. Excuse me. Of him taking a coach. Let's see if the coach is in this one. Oh yeah. Okay. We'll start here at 2 minutes and 9 seconds. This is very unscientific, but it started at 2 minutes 11 seconds. And he's recording this with a potato pointed at his television here. Look at those gears turning.
Well, I was way off because it's only a 4-minute 9-second video. It started at 2:10. It just felt like a lot longer than.
It did. I went for the gears to stop. Because either you're going to get through when the gears stop, or you're not getting through when the gears
And
stop.
then you'll see you've been disconnected.
And that little font too that they have.
Yep.
The little,
And the green screen in the background, and then the gray bar. You've been disconnected.
This is going for almost a minute so far.
I remember how I managed it, but I don't think I ever paid a monthly subscription for this game. Even though I put in my credit card information.
That was almost perfectly a minute.
Yeah, almost exactly a minute.
Yeah, I don't think I ever paid a subscription fee. I never saw it come out of my bank account, at least.
Weird.
Yeah.
Tunar.
And that was even after I quit, came back, and quit and came back, and it never came out.
You remember how much tuner you had back in the day?
A lot. I have no idea.
More than you could even do anything with.
Yeah. We didn't use it for anything besides repairs.
Right.
At the end, or buying robes or
reps.
I remember coming back.
reps.
The very last time I came back.
What year was this?
I don't even know, man. I came back. No one else came back with me. They'd sent me like a hey, free month type thing. I'm like, okay. So I came back, and over there was a robe I really wanted. I came back. I ran around Freeport for a while. And then there was an auction house, right?
Yes. Oh yeah, there's an auction house.
Yeah. So I remember I hopped on the auction house, and I looked for this one robe I really wanted. I saw it, and I just bought it.
Yeah.
And it was like a ton of tunar. And I was just like, whatever, I'm never going to do anything with this money anyway. So I just finally ended up buying it, put it on, ran around for a while, and then exited the game. That was the last thing I ever did.
Yeah, that's kind of hard.
Oh,
That's kinda
PlayStation 2.
It is kind of sad, but it's...
What else are you going to do?
Right.
That game, it dragged on till 2012. Something like that, or 2013.
Wow. Yeah, because we played until like.
We played like
Well,
not even a half.
Not even a half of the life
Right.
of the game.
And it was dead when we left.
Sorry, anyone that played it all the way to the end.
It was.
But it was
dying. Yeah,
Oh
for sure.
my god! Everyone you grouped, it'd just be like someone quad boxing.
Yep,
We were at
exactly. That's what
2003.
lost the magic for me by far. Everyone was multi-boxing.
Oh my god, it was disgusting. You get one person who is pumping. If a card is $15 a month, you're doing $60 a month. Not to mention all the hardware costs it takes to get up and running.
Right.
There just wasn't any fun stories. It was just a bunch of shitbags with their,
Trying to get to their max level and
Right.
get their CMs and
just grinding
Yeah.
that shit. That's when the grind got just. That's when it turned.
yeah, I remember that last CM to get immortal. I'm just going, oh my god, because it just takes forever.
Did you have any idea how long it would take?
I think it was an hour
Oh wow.
grinding at EG for that last CM. It was crazy. Because I remember getting the second to last one, going, yes, only one more, and it just never came. It never came. Then it was like 2 o'clock in the morning by the time I got to bed. So I'm like, it's only one more. I can do this, and then it just never happened.
Oh boy. All right, what else we got here? Any gigantic annoyances that you recall?
Getting trained by everyone.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The Cyclops is the best one.
I remember that one vividly.
So do I.
Yep, I remember that. I remember you and Kyle were there.
Yep.
I don't know if Meat was there.
I can't remember. I remember getting trained by you, though.
Yeah,
Most people probably do.
I was insecure and immature.
I remember running trains at the Null Cave.
Yeah. Oh, God, we're running so many trains in the old cave. Like, well, we're done leveling. We're done grinding here, so we just run out. Because we'd be high level at the bottom.
Uh-huh.
There'd be these poor
Uh,
noobers at the gate. And just
The best was running out of there deep in the belly,
Yep.
and then you're able just to run your way out, and then you get out to the mouth of the cave, and then there are your noobers who are just getting ready to pull one of the guards, and here comes another 15 gnolls with
you out the front.
Here you go.
I remember
Everyone outside just scatters.
I remember there being like, I don't remember if it was the gnolls or which one it was, but there's so many mobs that the screen couldn't show them all.
Right, yep.
So then you'd get outside and the screen would be like chugging along with the frame rate, and then everybody would be dead, and somebody would have been watching from a distance, and they just see like 100 gnolls, and you're like, yeah, that's alright. That was a very dangerous place to level.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of fun though.
Oh yeah.
Where are we going in there?
Yep. I think there were rare spawns at the bottom too.
Yeah, I think you're right.
They were low level, but I think they were rare spawns.
It always infuriated me running to a coach and then coaching somewhere else before you sign the ledger.
yes.
Oh!
Just run to high pass and then back in free port.
Yep.
No! That
I
was.
forgot to sign the goddamn coach.
But that kind of weeds out the newbies, you know.
Yep.
You need a little
Why
bit.
would you put that as the first
You
option?
have to just to.
It was muscle memory though.
Yep.
They go tap tap,
Yep. Yep.
Tap,
Oh,
tap.
Yep. That's
Mhm.
all you do.
and then
Yep. Oh, face palm for sure. That was a big one. I remember that being super
The
annoying.
Dark Solace thing was weird too. Where
What's that?
You couldn't talk, or it was like shh, because there's something weird about.
What?
Yeah, the people in
just
that
went there
place.
just to get away from all the trade. I say trade chat, but just the global chat. They went there to get away from that.
What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Dark yes, Dark Solace.
Yeah, you weren't supposed to say anything if you weren't there.
What are you? Are you talking about World of Warcraft?
No.
No,
this
come on,
is
EQA. Yes.
Dark
It
Solace.
was like the unwritten rule that you didn't talk in the global channel.
Yep.
In Dark Solace.
What?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna consult the 2 foot by 2 foot.
I don't know if it's even on there.
Dark Solace. What was it supposed to be?
Because it's like in a really hidden spot.
Yep.
It's really.
Unless it was somewhere either in the desert or on the edge of the desert.
I don't see it.
All the coaches are on there.
But it's actually called Dark Solace.
Yes.
Oh yeah, South Crossroads. Right there.
Dark Solace, yeah. So right in the edge of the mountains.
Sure, yep.
Weird. That's where you went for the minnows, wasn't it?
Sure.
Yeah, because they were here. On this side of the mountain.
You didn't talk in global chat.
Yeah, you weren't supposed to.
You weren't supposed to.
Or the
Just that no
shelf.
one did.
Yeah, no one did.
No one did.
It was just kind of the unwritten thing. You went there and it was just shh.
That is super weird. Never heard of that. Next segment. Next segment. Lucas, what's the next segment?
I don't know, you got it. Oh, it's 9 o'clock.
Well, then let's lead us out. Lead us out, Luke.
Start the chant, Luke.
I don't know. I'm not prepared for this.
That was a chant.
You had a whole day to prepare.
Right?
I had to work.
So did we.
You've been working on this for like 2 weeks.
No, this is
Scott, you have a notebook full of notes.
You do.
this is half a pint of vodka's worth of study. We didn't even touch any of this stuff. None of it. We did that one.
We talked about alchemists. We talked about druids. We talked about fun times with Everlong. That seems to be a common topic on every.
We didn't get to your robe confession on point yet.
No.
We'll save that for next time.
Yeah, we can save that for next time.
2018, we'll save that for.
Yeah, we should do one a little quicker than that.
Maybe.
Maybe once
a quarter.
once a blue moon, once a quarter. Other than that, I think that's gonna be it for the night. That we're out of alcohol, so we're gonna call it a night there. And then I'm gonna try to put in a fun outro music session right here.
Yeah, how long is this supposed to take?
I think it's Thursday.
Oh, so we really gotta wrap this up.
Yeah. What? This is the end.
All right.
Bye.
Out of here.
I'll see you guys soon.
Next time.
Take care. Bye now. We'll see you. Take care now. Bye guys.
Got him.